We just got through watching Survivor Series. Who's the new World Heavyweight Champion? Did the Brothers of Destruction do away with the Wyatts? We're about to find out now on HWR's pay-per-view review for Survivor Series 2015. I am your hardcore host, Rickhead. As always, I got the hardcore crew here with me. First, he's the classic wrestling manager. He's Joseph Knight. Joe, what's up?
Nothing much. Just saw that pay-per-view. We should rename it Predictable Series.
Wow, that's a little harsh, but okay. And moving over, of course, last but not least, we have the incomparable Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV over on YouTube. Lance, what's up?
Feeling kind of conflicted.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you guys. It was for what it was. I was really pleased for the matches. Some were very, very predictable. Um, And I'm surprised that they had the 5-on-5 traditional match for Survivor Series. Team Dudley defeated the Cosmic Wasteland, pretty much and Miz and Bodell, which nothing really shocking there. It was obvious who was going to win. The match, I don't know. I think the only other match that should have been in the kickoff match was the Breeze Ziggler match.
Yes.
And, Joe, were you even impressed with the Breeze versus Ziggler match?
No, to me, it's like watching the same guy fight. It wasn't really something I would go over and say, "Hey, this was really different." They both have similar styles. They both pretty much were gimmicky wise. They're pretty much the same. So to me, it's just I guess it was just a filler match.
Yeah. Lance, let me ask you this before we move on. Do you think Tyler Breeze getting a clean win over Dolph Ziggler? What were your thoughts about that? Do you think it was the right time for it, or do you think they kind of jumped the gun a little early?
Maybe a little bit because one, he's a heel, and two, it was his first having your first big win on a
Pay per view?
well big one of the big four. Uh, Cleanly, I just don't see heels doing that.
All right. Well, let's jump over a couple of matches. Reigns obviously got in the finals. We know that Ambrose got in the finals. So we're going to talk about the final match in a little bit. There was another 5-team match that was unannounced, and that was the New Day and Sheamus versus the Team Usos. Now, during the match, the New Day pretty much turns on Sheamus, leaving him behind. I thought that's what Sheamus was going to be, like maybe do a face turn, but that just wasn't the case. Um, Moving on, we also had the Undertaker over the, obviously getting the win over the Wyatts. Joe, this was a great match. We saw a lot of classic Undertaker matches that we haven't seen in quite some time. Um, what do you think about? Was this right for Undertaker to get the win and Kane?
You know, if they really wanted to, it had to be done. They wanted to give the nod off. Now, is this going to be his final swan song? That's the bigger question here. Is this going to be just another tease for him? Everybody thinking that he's going to be finally hanging up his his coat and gimmick. Is this something that we're finally going to see the end of the Undertaker? I think that's the bigger question here. I kind of felt, the match was great. I mean, the entrance alone sold me on this match. That's you cannot beat the Undertaker's entrances. They're the most exciting entrances you ever seen, and the most creepiest.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you there. The entrance was incredible. Um, Lance, what would you think about this match? Any thoughts on Undertaker and Kane winning? Right thing or wrong thing?
Right thing. I mean, one, it as hyped up as it was, it would have been pointless for them. Now, if it was just an ordinary Survivor Series, yeah, put Bray and the White Family over. But since this, they had me thinking it's possibly Taker's last. But two things. Well, it's probably the last time we'll see the Brothers of Destruction as a tag. Definitely. But I the way they hyped it up, honestly I don't think Taker's going out in the tag match. I think he's going out in Dallas.
So, and I think that does raise a good question. Like you said, Undertaker's his future as a wrestler, I think it's obviously done. Hopefully, this is his swan song. I know a lot of fans want to see the match with the Undertaker versus Sting, and I don't want to see it. I think this should be his exit. I think he should maybe come in the ring, and I'd like to see him as Mark Calloway for once, and just do a nice shoot. But I honestly don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. Moving on, let's move on to the finals. We had Ambrose versus Roman Reigns for the world title, and I think everybody called it that it was going to be Reigns versus Ambrose. It was just too obvious. Um,
Well, actually, I think Andy called Ambrose. What's it called? Kevin Owens versus Rollins, I believe. I mean,
he
versus
did. He
Reigns, I
did call.
believe.
Yes, Billy. I'm sorry. Actually, he Andy, the son of a bitch, did make it, and I can't speak tonight, so don't mind me. I'm a little high. Anyways, moving on.
Don't blame you.
Yeah. No, well, you have to be high to watch this pay per view. So the matches themselves were good, predictable, yes. But the one thing I have to admit that was not predictable was, Triple H came down to the ring, tried to sell, tried to buy out Reigns, and Triple H gets a spear, and just as Reigns turns around, he gets brogue kicked by Sheamus, and Sheamus cashes in. Minutes later, he hits Reigns with another brogue kick and gets the win, and then Sheamus walks out with Triple H. Joe, your thoughts?
I I knew there was going to be a Money in the Bank cash in. I just thought it was going to be, they couldn't do it to him twice. Roman Reigns did it. Excuse me, Seth Rollins did it to him at WrestleMania. I didn't think they were going to go that same route again. Obviously, they probably didn't figure it was Roman Reigns this time. They gave him that few seconds as champion. I was totally shocked that they actually took the belt off of him. But this is, it's Triple H. You gotta give him his way. So I think, you know what, we'll probably see another longer reign with the Shield. Oh, you know what? We'll probably see the Shield reunite now because they have to put them all together because now none of them have a championship,
Well, let me
and
ask you this.
Triple H has a new guy.
You made an interesting point because right now, Seth Rollins is on injury, and when he comes back, most likely he's going to come back as a babyface. Do you think that's why they're going in that direction, or do you honestly see that maybe Reigns could possibly get his title reign in between then?
You know, if you've seen the crowd tonight, they were kind of half and half. They were not really pro Reigns. They were kind of like pro Reigns, pro Ambrose. If Seth Rollins was present, they'll be probably pro Rollins. I think at this point, they're again Roman Reigns he's there. He's not there yet. He's got the look, he's got the character, but he's not there yet. So I think what they're gonna do is just play this off that Triple H screwed him again, and you don't know. We might see a Shield unite just to see, just to get back at the Authority.
Okay. Lance, let me ask you this. Um, Roman Reigns, he's been pretty much on a losing streak. He got all the way to the end, and then they took the title away from him. What does this say about his career and which direction they want to take him with it?
Well, it actually says something good because if it was just they actually want to build a more complex storyline around him. Because remember, look at what it did for Daniel Bryan when they took the title away from him.
That's that's a fair point. Joe, as you were talking about how they should show how to reunite the Shield. Is it better for a wrestler to have the title or to chase the title?
Definitely, the chase is better to be the chaser. And you and me had this private discussion one time regarding like famous wrestlers who are better off the chasers than the chasee. Roddy Piper was one for years before they gave him his one intercontinental title reign. It's just certain people are better suited as the chasers, and at this point, Roman Reigns is the better chaser. He'll get more sympathy because now he lost the belt. The people are going to be more behind him because they want to see him regain it. So this is going to be better for him as a chaser. Uh, Dean Ambrose, we already proven that he can go in there and fight all the way to the main event. This is another thing. He's another chaser, and you want to keep them as chasers. Now, here's an interesting point. We saw Sheamus hugging up on Triple H. Does this mean that Sheamus is going to be Triple H's new authority guy? If
You know,
that's the case, where does this leave Seth Rollins?
you made up some very good points. As far as to answer your question about Sheamus being with Triple H, I think they're doing that to give him that huge push. As you said earlier, right now they're short on heels, especially big heels, and they needed to do that. Um, Lance, earlier we had that discussion. Could Ambrose turn heel? Did you even suspect he was going to turn heel at any time, or did you think it was going to be a straight up fight?
Honestly, I thought he was going to turn because I was thinking Deadly Games Tournament '98. Where they had the Survivor Series tournament where Rock screwed over Mankind and joined the corporation.
Yeah, and I think maybe the WWE wanted to do a big swerve because none of us saw Sheamus cashing in. Well, at
Well,
least
mission accomplished.
yeah, we didn't see him winning it. We saw him cashing in and maybe even losing. Because even during the pay per view, we were talking about Sheamus and how he's gotten a lackluster push,
Yeah.
and he could, he's just holding on the Money in the Bank, and then all of a sudden, lo and behold, we have a new world champion. As Sheamus gets, I guess you can call it the cash in win. So you know what, guys? Now we want to know your thoughts. What do you think about the pay per view? What was your greatest match, and what was your worst match? Put those comments in the comments section below. And please subscribe to HWR Show. The subscribe button is in the upper right hand corner, if I can untwist my tongue tonight. I would always like to thank the hardcore crew. Joe, you're over at CWA. Where can everybody find you? What can you get going on? And what do you have going on?
Yeah, try to say that 5 times.
No shit, huh?
You know what? Before we even do the closing, I gotta say this. Overall, the match was good. The Divas match was a very solid match. We didn't say that, but overall, good pay per view. Fans can follow me on Twitter at JKnightCWA. You can also follow me on Facebook at facebook.com Joseph Knight Manager.
And as always, I love to thank the. I'd like to thank the incomparable Lance Moss. Jesus, what is wrong with me tonight? Lance, what you got going on? Where can everybody find you?
Well, I got you can find me at youtube.com/Lance Moss TV. I got album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck Norman cooking videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants, and every Wednesday I do. Even this Wednesday, I'm doing my live show, Lance Moss TV and Friends. I never know who's going to show up. And then Thursday, you're going to find me stuffing my face at the Thanksgiving table.
You gonna be actual
So,
cooking?
no, I tried it once, but my mom kicked me out of the kitchen.
Oh shit! So I know redneck cooking on Thanksgiving. Well,
No,
with
I take
that,
the day off.
well, good for you. Well, with that, this is your hardcore host Rick Head saying, "We'll see you when you see you," or next
Oh,
time
oh,
whenever I get high.
same bat time, same bat channel.
Oh, shit.